Yeah. One of my favorite pieces too. And the location that is like, priceless. Because it's go directly on the container part, It's not like on the side or nothing. It's like the whole corner. And then on the side, I have also like the birch for downtown terrace. That is the restaurant. So yeah, they actually paint the whole building white, and I went and did it, and it was pretty cool. They have me with like a boom leaf and everything, and people, because it's downtown, and it's like on the center of downtown. Um, People was very excited about, and the colors. I use like super vibrant colors too, for the same reason, and just getting the message out that all in this love, for one each other, support each other, and I guess with that two things, it can go so far. Yeah, I don't like hating, honestly. Like, I love love, like good vibes, everything. What's a modern? So yeah, I put it on pause, and then with that, I did my first closing line.
Whoa.
Yeah, when I was like 16.
Wow.
Yeah, since then I've been working as a street artist.
Me apuro a hacer las cosas aquí en la compu y termino. Maybe.
I used to was a graffiti writer when I was like 9. And then it wasn't like until 12 or something that I started getting with, different other friends. So I did that one when it was like the protest.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter protest.
Right.
To stay in the middle of all the chaos, I was doing that. And then I went back because it was featured on Fox News. I went back and did a whole message that it says, "Are we free?"
All right, fam.
They call my art beautiful mess. It's just like a big mess. And I'm okay with it.
Boy, you had me from the start. By the way you stared, the way you wrote upon me, yeah. Man, I felt your energy. Wasn't used to being loved and treated differently, yeah. But something went wrong, the signals got crossed. And now we're on completely different pages. Let's go where we were, where no one gets hurt.
Good evening, and welcome to Hot Pink Radio. I am Cherie, your mother. And listen, honey child, your mother is coming and talking square business to you, baby, tonight. Okay, we coming off the muscle, real, no fake. This whole thing is impromptu. My guests have agreed to just show up for me. Okay, I really do
Okay.
appreciate it. But you know what? I'm just trying to inform the people and alert the masses as to the tactics and the devices of the devil. Okay,
The devil.
microphone. I'm just here to try to, just to tell my people what's really going on, and and I'm glad that you guys came here to help me bring light to the situation. And I was just
Right.
through Facebook, and I saw this topic, and I've seen this topic before, and I've lived this topic. So I just wanted to talk about it, and I'm so glad. The energy is high. I'm not going to take up all the time because I know y'all got plenty to say. I'm here with filmmaker Ray Silver and love coach Eve Love, and they have
What's
came
going on?
so our energies can converge. And let's talk about the love bomb.
Love bombing.
Yes, love bombing, honey.
As
Love
we defined
bombing.
it, it's just people just attempting to influence or sway you with compliments and treat. It's like when Ike Turner whooped on anime and he bought her flowers. You know what I'm saying?
Look, you
So
ready
don't
to go
don't beat
there
my
this
ass and
early
then
on the
turn around and
show?
love bomb on me. You feel what I'm saying? So love bomb can have several different definitions. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
that's just my definition of love bombing.
Well, you know what? You're absolutely right.
Hmm.
Actually, I found this online. Is that love bombing is an early warning sign that you're dating a narcissist. Is that not true? Now, Eve, when you came in, ask me that question. Since you
That's
asked
that's kind of where I was going with it, but I'll wait.
A narcissist, love bombing is a narcissist attempt to keep you under their control, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
ask me the question. Ask me
I
the
don't
question.
remember the question. It was in
Oh, you don't
spirit.
remember it? Okay, come on. It'll come back to you. Come on, Ray.
Yeah.
Jump in.
Yeah, no, what's interesting, I think, is that we are becoming more and more aware of all the different emotional manipulation that
Mm,
that people use. The more what I'm saying, the more we get into widening our perspective on what it is about, how you relate to people, how you connect with people, what's toxic, toxic, what's dysfunctional, love bombing, narcissism, and all of these terms, all of these like concepts and stuff were very foreign to us. We just were in relationships, what I'm saying, blinded to, what I'm saying, the different type of toxic, traits or behaviors. And then all of a sudden we as a society, we're becoming more educated in that area. And now we're able to see and be able to pick that out and decide whether or not, hopefully we can see it in our own, if we are part of that, if we are part of the problem, what I'm saying. But also, what I'm saying, we can definitely, you know help, or not help, but create those healthy boundaries. What I'm saying. So I think it's just, to me, it's just pretty interesting, as society moves through time, how we become more educated, but we also still don't know how to treat each other. As much as more, the more we understand, the more we have the more we're able to define, what I'm saying, these different terms, these social terms, these relational terms, these mental health terms. We still stumble and trip and fall, and You know what I'm saying? Have to get back up, and but we know what the hell to call it now. we
Right.
know what to call it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I've been in a
Well, at least
relationship.
we put a
Yeah,
name to it, you know.
yeah, yeah. And I've experienced narcissistic toxic, toxicity and narcissistic at least behaviors. I won't, identify that person, diagnose them,
Right.
but
But in some
But the thing
occasions, huh? No, I was just saying sometimes like attract like. And if we continue to attract narcissists and controlling and
mm-hmm,
manipulators, that means there's something in us that's
mm-hmm,
attracting that to us. So now that's when we get into that part of that shadow work where we have to really look at ourselves and hold ourselves accountable for what we attract. Because anything that
yeah,
comes to our existence, either we brought it in or we allowed it to happen. So we have to
mm-hmm,
take hold ourselves accountable for just allowing a narcissist or somebody to love. Well, as soon as we see it now in this age, we know how to stop it, transmute it, and
mm-hmm,
move into a different direction.
right. And
yeah,
that's actually where I was gonna go. So thank God that we went there because it's like, we can evaluate and analyze and diagnose the other person all we want to, but we also have to go within and look and see what is it within ourselves, that is attracting a psychotic egomaniac. And then you have to look at yourself and
Shit.
say, well, I a psychotic egomaniac here, because you really have do that self examination because, like you said, I mean, it's the law of attraction. It's true. Like
Hmm.
attracts like, opposites also attract. So
mm-hmm,
you have to kind of find out where you are on that spectrum if you continue. And like you were saying, Eve, is that at some point we do get to the point where we recognize it a lot sooner and we
mm-hmm.
can set up
Yes.
our boundaries. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that we're not susceptible.
Right. And
Yeah,
again, the boundaries are not for the other people. The boundaries are for you. And once we
mm-hmm,
set the boundaries, we have to stand on it. You have to stand in your truth. You have to stand on those boundaries. If you set boundaries and you allow somebody that's narcissistic to step over those boundaries, well, that was for you. A narcissist, that's what they supposed to do. They supposed to step in boundaries. They supposed to try to make you change your mind. That's what this love bombing is about. I want you to change your mind and do what I need you to do or what I want you to do. That's how
mm-hmm.
narcissists feel about boundaries. Your boundaries mean absolutely nothing to a narcissist. So the boundaries
Absolutely.
are for you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true. That's true. Go ahead. Come on,
Mhm.
Rep.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I mean, I think for me, I could definitely speak um, to this particular topic simply because what you had pointed out, like there's something that if you're drawing this type of person into your life or allowing this type of person into your life, you really do have to, you know what I'm saying? Okay, they are responsible for their actions, but you're also responsible for allowing or participating or mirroring or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, that went on in that relationship to sort of foster or, cultivate that type of dynamic. And
Right.
the universe had to put me on my ass. We could say, put me on my butt, put me, what I'm saying, block me from, from moving forward in many areas. And, till I paid attention to some areas in my life, you know what I'm saying, specifically, and I think recently I actually, finally told myself a little bit of truth, which is the fact that the way that different individuals were in my life at a younger age or not in my life at a younger age, you know what I'm saying, really made me feel unlovable or less, not worthy of being loved based on my own standards of love, accepting the love that whether it was breadcrumbing or just when they could or however they chose to love me, you know what I'm saying, how
Exactly.
they define love, accepting others' definition of love. When it came to how they would treat me or how they would show love towards me, instead of me, you know what I'm saying, insisting and being looking for as an adult, you know what I'm saying, for a person to love me correctly. And I definitely wouldn't call myself a narcissist. But at the same time, one of the things that narcissists are good at, they are really good at making you feel good for their benefit.
Right.
Exactly.
For their
That,
Exactly.
benefit. And so
Hey,
I
that
mean,
I
like,
brings
messed
me
up.
back.
I messed up. I want to eat you. I want to eat you out real good, make you feel real good. You know what I'm saying? So a
yeah.
narcissist use sex. They use gifts. They use all type of manipulations just to have their way with you. You know what I'm saying? You touched on another thing. You touched on the root. The root chakra, that's the lowest part of the chakra. That's at the bottom of your feet. The root, that's your mother and your father. What taught you how to accept love the way you accept love? You know what I'm saying? So when we balance in ourselves, we start with the root and we go inside of that and see what makes us accept a narcissist. Either we had a parent that was a narcissist and was a manipulator, or we had an absentee parent and we kind of made up, this is what we want. This is the type of love I would like. But as we go out and try to look for this type of love, we find that we attract what we've been around in our childhood. Like if we was neglected as a child, we attract people that neglect us and then use you know what I'm saying, then use our past kind of against us, because nine
Mhm.
times out of ten you lay down and you talk your big, you pillow talking with the person you with. They
Yeah.
know what you look at, they know what you're looking for, they know what you need, they know how to be what you appear to be, what you need to use you in any way, you know what I'm saying, just to control you. It's a control
Yeah.
mechanism to learn you, you know. So that puts you in a shell where, like, well, I ain't let nobody in, you know what I'm saying, because this is what's happening. Instead of fixing what's making us want to open up to people and want to attract people like that, we kind of just close ourselves out and become a slave to that feeling, or not having that feeling.
Wow, you said a mouthful.
I mean, a mouth,
That's
a book, that's
that's
a chapter.
so. Let me just take a minute. Let you take a breath.
Take a deep
Okay.
breath.
Tell
Take me to the garden, lay me down. Let your spirit get lost in the sound. All I know is I can't do without.
So I'm just gonna.
Take me to the garden, lay me down. Let your spirit get lost in the sound. All I know is I can't do without.
So that was of course Eve Love, coming to us, like it sure enough is, because, basically you just said in a nutshell this human
Hmm.
magnet syndrome that we are, that we get engage in when we go into relationships, and that's that part of us that attracts, that narcissistic, energy.
Hmm.
And you asked me when you first came on, since you don't remember, you asked me if I had ever been love bombed. Okay.
Yeah. So have you ever been love bombed?
I have
And what
been
was your
nothing but
experience
love
with it?
bombed.
You
I've
say
been
what?
love, and you know what? And I have to admit it. I love the love bomb. I love it's great. And when you and like you said, there is that toxic part of that empathic person that
Yeah.
loves that, that showering of attention, that loves
That's service.
even though and I'm like, I'm too old not to know. I've been, baby, I've been bombasted too many times to
Too
know
many times.
what's up, and so, at some point, we get, addicted to that toxic side on any
Hmm.
level. You know what I'm saying? There's new levels, new devils. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've had it at every level up to now. And it's like it's always the same. But even in healing, each and every time, and I'm putting myself back together, then there is a new boundary that's set.
Hmm.
So that there's a new level of understanding that if I want to keep going without the loss, without the personal losses, then eventually, you know I pray that a more healed person will come my way, to where we
Right.
don't have to experience all that.
Yeah. I think I think I'm praying for a healed person too, because
At least a
but
person that's ascended enough to know that it's time to heal. You know what I'm saying? You can't just
yeah,
say I want a healed person, and you know what I'm saying, because I think every day we wake up to breathe, we're healing.
Brand new
It's an
yeah,
mercy, new
ongoing
healing.
thing. So once you have a person that's conscious enough to understand that, hey, we got some shit that happened in our root that we need to fix before we able to move on, in a mature healing person, somebody that's just really real with it, just not just, I want to be in a relationship so bad I'm gonna be with a person that's on crack, and I'm not finna do that.
Right. No,
I'm
been
not
there,
finna
done
do
that.
that. I'm
Already
not that
did it.
desperate
Already did it.
for some
yeah,
accolades.
right, yeah.
I
No,
already did it. You
I
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Already
I mean,
did it.
it's 100% always the journey is about continuing to grow, and hopefully as time goes on, you know what I'm saying, you get a little bit wiser about yourself. And I think if for me as being having that personal self-awareness and some healthy, really healthy boundaries, um is I mean, honestly, if I feel a lot more solid on solid ground when it comes to, engaging with another person and getting to know them and stuff like that,
Yeah.
slowing down, and just, you know what I'm saying, really
Definitely.
paying attention to what they do, letting their actions be their words. Like, because
Let the actions be the
I used
word.
to
I like that.
I used to ignore like obvious, like,
The red
that
flag.
is all the red flags, right? Because of
You
what
thought the
because
little red
it
flags was
sounded
little
so
heart
good.
busted around, but come to find out them
You
was red
feel
flags
me?
whole time.
I thought I could remove the flags or I could change the flags, you know what I'm
No.
saying?
Mm-mm.
Oh
And
my
at
God.
the end of the day, it's people have too much free will. We always have free will, but we
Absolutely.
exercise free will all the time, and people either will choose to or choose not to, or just choose to like literally be in a neutral position, which, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I
Well,
think
that's the thing about it. As you become more self-aware, like I automatically know what I'm going to attract. Eve dropped out, and she'll be back. But automatically know, but I know that if you know and you're familiar with the outcome, then you will take steps, or you
mhm,
should take steps, like Eve was saying, to handle things in a more mature way than you
yeah,
handled them in the past, if you value the relationship and what it is that you're trying to do with that person. Now, if you
yeah.
just, in it for a minute, not here for a good time and not for a long time, then, do what it do, you know.
Right,
But
right.
I mean, if the ultimate goal, and I mean, at some point, I mean, I don't know whose ultimate goal is not, but in the end, if the ultimate goal is to have a long lasting, sustainable and stable relationship, that has the communication that you need, that has the back and forth, the give and take, not the
Right,
bad back and forth, but the give and take, so that you don't end up taking breadcrumbs, you know.
right. Yeah. Yeah, it's for me, I think I have no problem giving,
Mm.
and I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a way of communicating, it's expression, and ever since I found my voice, expressing myself in various ways, his is it's it gives me that self it fulfills a need that I have
Yes.
internally. You know what I'm saying? So what I have to make sure I tell myself, like literally coach myself, like, don't give too much. Don't give too much, because you like to give. So
I'm
just
a chronic overgiver. I'm
yeah,
definitely an
don't give
overgiver.
too
Giving
much.
too much too soon just create a freaking monster.
Yeah, for sure. And I've
It
created
creates a
plenty of
person
them.
that just expect an entitled person.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It really does. And so, and at over time, excuse me, over time, you know, You just can't keep up with the pace that you set in the beginning. And I know I ran out of steam. And, it's not, it actually took a minute, but you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you're like, okay, wait a minute here. I'm depleted. You didn't sucked. I didn't allow you to cipher all of my given energy up out of me. I need some back. And they'd be like, what are you
But what
talking
is
about?
that about us
Well,
that make us feel like we
that's
need to
that's that's called an
overperform?
energy vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been, man. If there was such thing as energy vampire marks, you'd be like,
You
what the fuck is going on with your neck, bro? I'd be like, look, don't worry about that, okay? I'm gonna get a tattoo to cover that.
get a
Cover
tattoo
it.
to cover
I
that.
gotta, yeah, I'm gonna get some work done on that
The
area.
energy vamps are only here to drain you. They are only here to drain your energy. They do not pour in. They always
Yeah.
withdraw. It's not never.
And you
It's
always
never a
feel like,
deposit
yes, you always feel like you have to give more and more and more and more, and you have to like be that endless source. And then once you're
because they
depleted,
have no energy of their own.
right?
Which is amazing because, like, where y'all put it? Like, after you done got it from me, where'd it go? Where does it go? Like, at some point, you should be busting, like,
But the
busting
thing
full of
is, they don't know
energy.
how to accumulate their own energy.
That
You feel
part.
me? You ever notice when you're in a long-term relationship, the weaker person always move on fast? They find
Yeah.
somebody quick, and you're like, damn, you didn't even let the strap get motherfucking dry. Oh, you on to
Oh my
something else?
God.
Let the strap get
Listen.
dry, bitch. Damn. You know what I'm saying? So now you done moved on to somebody else, and it's not because you in love with somebody else. It's because they have absolutely no energy. Their energy source was coming from you. They are vampires. They don't have energy of their own. So you'll see them, you know what I'm saying, going from person to person because they need that fresh host. You wore out. They done already tapped you out. You tapped out. You trying to heal. Now you
Or
in a
either
safe
you
place.
turned it off, because me,
Yeah.
and that's the thing about it. But when you do get to a certain point and you know that, okay, when I go into self-preservation mode, I'm turning off all the spigots to whatever I have left. At least over time I have learned to at least do that, to turn off the source, because if I know that my well is running dry, then I'm not gonna let it get all dry like that because I'm too old for that.
Mm,
You know, I'm
yeah,
gonna turn it on off and it's just gonna be like I'm just be, like basically reserving, all my backup reserves for myself,
You
especially
have
when you get
to.
now. There was a time when I was completely depleted, when
Hmm.
I was completely just, that was it. But, even, we come up out of that, but we learn. When you learn more about yourself and who you are, then
yeah.
you learn to set boundaries. You learn to do certain things, but do you? Because I'm sitting up here single. I don't know about y'all. I mean, this is
Huh?
not like I'm going to get no dates or nothing like that. I mean,
Right.
let's talk about the problem, it's
The
how we
issue.
got here.
Why are we single? Why are you single? You know what I'm saying? Because it was an experience that wasn't for you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to either you see people that allow people to drain them and they stick with this relationship just because y'all have time and experience together. Man, fuck that
Right.
time, fuck that experience. If it's draining my energy, I'm out. I don't care how good it feels to me sexually. You know what I'm saying? If it's not pouring into me energetically or spiritually, I don't need it.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's
anything else, you have to create that boundary for yourself.
Make a
I think
choice.
that's a strong statement, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna have to no, I not have to, but I definitely want to just add that to my standards, you know what I'm saying? I love that. I never heard anybody really honestly take such a strong stance on um having like making sure that your energy is protected, and also like if this person or this situation is draining me, I'm out. Like the question I have is, how is it literally like literally off on, like seriously
It's
could be like good and then boom, Oh snap! It's draining my
Boom.
No,
energy.
Is
I'm
it
out. Is it? Do you
ghosting?
work
no,
through
I'm
it?
out.
it's a process. It's definitely a process. It's not just that simple. But
Because
you
I don't
know
think that for
only
me it
so
wouldn't
how
be that
much,
simple.
right? You know how much you can take, and because you do give your energy to it. But you know, there's, as you said, boundaries. The boundaries, you know, they get further and further out. You know what I'm saying? Like you may be
Hmm.
this close, but at some point, this, as the boundaries move out, it's going to eventually move you away from me. Because if I have to keep you this far away from me at arm's length, then what's the point? You know,
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
point, because that would be, because I've been there already, being in a relationship when
Yeah.
you're in the, with somebody, sleeping in the bed with
I think it
somebody,
I think
you
it's
feel like
easier
you're
to
alone.
cut you off. It's
Right,
easier to cut off when you've already been through that. It's almost like the
right.
first time you see the same shit you've been through. Hey, I'm out. I'm out, shawty.
Yeah,
I
honey,
can
I'm
I can
old
see
and gray
that.
head, baby. It's plenty of it's
I'm with
plenty
you.
of up in here. So like
be
no.
out.
Okay.
Yeah, I could. I mean, I could definitely see that. I like. I mean, for me personally, it's my personality is working. I believe we're all a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think, for me, I do like to. I do prefer, it's my choice to extend patience, and
Right.
you know what I'm saying. But also, you know, there's patience with a person that is recognizing their issues and recognizing they're part of it, and making trying to make strides to change it, and different things like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like relationships can be draining, especially because they all go through their different phases. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's all awesome, and then there's a time where, just like as people, we have our growing pains, and we have our areas where we are, maybe off track or not, you know what I'm saying, which we have to get back on track. I feel like relationships are also, have the same type of dynamic. But I mean, I'm not talking about like something you don't believe in, or you know what I'm
Right.
saying, like something superficial. But I do believe in working through problems. I do believe in working things out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And
Because,
being
and that's the
being
thing,
patient in the process.
I don't want to sit up here and be like, oh, being 52 years old and single is just the greatest thing in the world. Because
I know
you know
I'm
what I'm
with
saying?
you. Like, I ain't
That's
trying to be
definitely
single
not, you know,
not too long.
that's definitely not what I'm trying to, you know, to convey. Because I feel like any 52-year-old woman feels like they, you know, should be well into a relationship and cultivating, and they probably got, you know, grandkids and houses and cars and land and all that kind of stuff with it. But I'm not the typical or atypical. You know what I'm saying? I'm just me. So
Mhm.
it's just, you know, and it's not that I haven't been in a long term relationship, you know, or anything like that. But at this point, if I'm not in that situation like that, I'm certainly not going to embroil myself in something super toxic. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
Right.
yeah.
Just to say you in a relationship. You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? So you come
Yeah,
first,
no,
you
I
know?
totally agree.
Yeah,
I, to-
I
I
agree.
totally I totally agree with that, you know. Um but yeah, I mean, I love relations. I would love to be in a relationship. I ain't even gonna lie.
Relations.
I like relations, and I would love to be in a relationship because I'm in a good place right now in life, and a
Yeah.
place
Right.
where things are moving up. And I really want to. I mean, to me, success is awesome. You know what I'm saying? Where, I mean, heck, I ain't got to worry about having to spend on two. You feel me? Like, I'm like, ooh, I could treat myself to. I could go get me some J's this weekend and next
And
weekend.
next
What?
week.
You feel me? Like, I didn't, but I do. I mean, my closet's looking better, that's for sure.
You know what
You
I'm
know what I'm
saying? One
saying?
thing, once
But
you
as
see
far
how
as,
much money you save from not being in a relationship, it's like, fuck. Like, I,
I mean,
every
it is. It's
relationship cost
nice.
me $50,000.
And you didn't even know
Honestly,
you had $50,000.
I mean,
I didn't
that's
even know
dope.
I had $50,000. Every relationship costing 50,000. Or hey, I'd rather keep that little 50 bands for myself. You feel what I'm saying? So no, I
Yeah.
So
understand it.
while we're on the subject of the love bomb, okay, because that is
Yeah,
why we're here, you know, while we're on the subject of the love bomb, as we, you know, eventually, you know, move into those places when we decide that yes, we want to, try it again.
The way you said it was
The
like,
way he said,
okay, here we go.
try it
Ah, that was hella. That was funny, yo.
again.
I don't know
Oh
if you
I'm
meant
just
shit.
it. Did you
saying.
like it? Try it again.
Try it again. Here we go
Well,
again.
because I mean, eventually you want to. I mean, I'm like, okay, eventually I'm gonna.
Try it
Try
again.
it again.
Shit.
That's too funny. That's too
Yeah.
funny.
Like,
I,
I'm
I
just
I needed
somebody.
that laugh. I need that
Can't
Yeah,
just
extra.
one,
that was a good one.
just one get it right. Just one somebody get it right.
Somebody gonna get that shit right, man. They gonna get that
One
right. They gonna come
somebody,
healed. They
one
gonna know how to work
right.
out problems.
And I
They're
could
gonna come ready to
communicate.
communicate.
You
Look,
know
we
what
said
I'm
at the
And
same
saying?
that's what
time. That's
we're
the
gonna talk
number
about,
one.
cause that's what you
Jeez.
about, Miss Eve. You this is about Eve. Look, this is your profession, so that's why I brought
Right.
you here to help me and Ray out. Okay, and these are a list of your services. And so, I mean, you have
Yeah.
really spit some really great knowledge just being here right now. You know what I'm saying? And so, I
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to put your business out because you do have this great insight. Okay. And
Right. Another
home,
thing, I work with tarot.
home of the real ratchet reads.
Real ratchet reading, baby. Shout out Ratchet City. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, okay. Sex
So
Yeah.
these
magic.
are, these are,
It's necessary.
tell me about your business. I mean, where does this insight come from, Eve? Where does your
Say it
insight
again.
come from? I said, where does your insight come from? Where does it,
The, the
when
insight comes from the
come
ancestors. The insight, the visions, it comes from the people that came before us. We've always been the magic. If you born indigenous, you've always been magical. You've always been able to feel nature. Our people wasn't using clocks. We used nature to tell us when something was about to happen. We used what was around us. What's the land was our, you know what I'm saying? The land was our clock. We use herbs to heal our body. We use the sun to heal our body and tell, you know what I'm saying, and speak scripture from. We listen to the earth, we listen to the winds, we listen to the waters, you know what I'm saying. So our ancestors give us the vision. It's just up to us to tap in. When people say I'm woke, instead of I'm wakened, I'm awakened, you know, that lets me know that you're just spitting something that you heard on Facebook. To really tap in, you have to really tap into the senses, to nature, you know. So when I thank spirit, when I talk to spirit and spirit speaks to me and give me these visions and downloads, I'm grateful for them. I bring offering, you know what I'm saying. Some people like, so what is an altar? People don't know how to set up their altar, how to burn candles, and what are they for. So I help people kind of help go along with their spiritual journey, learn what the seven chakras is, how to balance yourself, how to go into your root and close those doors so that we can move on and live a healthier life. We talking about, we want somebody that's healed or healing. You got to ask them,
right?
who is your therapist, and does your
Hmm.
therapist have a therapist? You know what I'm saying? So now we
Okay.
got to, too many of us black people, especially in our community, you know what I'm saying, we don't go see a professional therapist. We don't
Hmm.
like
True.
to talk about our problems to anyone. So I just give people an open space. I call it real ratchet reading, because I want to tap into that industry that just really needed. The LGBT community needs someone that they can feel comfortable with to talk about these different emotions and talk about these different energies that they have and that they may not understand. So my job, of what spirit has given to me, is to help people find their way back to God. That's why I say I'm
Yeah.
God's gangster. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, if you a child of God, then you are a God. You feel what I'm saying? So
Mm.
you can't walk around saying that you are God and having peasant thoughts. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying?
I like
Peasant
So
that.
thoughts
true.
of lack. You know what I'm saying? So that's my stance in what spirit has for us and what spirit has for me. I just
I
listen to
love it.
spirit. Whatever feels good in my heart, I go with it.
And you're absolutely right, Eve, is that we do in the LGBT community, we have to find our place as far as in the spiritual world. We've been
Hmm.
so shut off and
Right.
we've been so shut out, to where the healing has not been available. We've had to try to put the pieces together, for ourselves. But like you said, every therapist needs a therapist, every mentor needs a mentor, every coach needs a coach, because where I just came
Exactly.
from, there's somebody there, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
that has never heard of narcissistic abuse, or that has never heard of love bombing, or that has never heard of being devalued. The first time you call me out of my name, I'm out. Because
Okay.
not, because that's just not who I'm not going to, but it's because I've been called out of my name so many times, you
Yep.
know, and how that name calling, is part of that this devaluation and that tearing down of a person, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you learn. So now I'm looking back and I'm seeing my young sister 5 or 10 years younger than me, that hasn't been through and she's telling me, look, this is what's going on. And I'm letting her know, you know what, this situation has got to heal, or you got to heal your way out of it,
Yeah.
That's what you have to do, because it's not just so easy just to walk out. Because after I got punched in the mouth, I still stayed. You know what I'm
Damn.
saying? So it was like,
Why did you
but
stay?
just being unhealed, just being, just accepting that, accepting, but accepting something I shouldn't. I mean, I'm not there now. It's been years, but I'm just saying at that point, I stayed. And and you have to heal your way out of stuff. You have to heal your way out of those toxic places. It's not just about blinking your eyes one day and, coming up out of it. At some point, the healing has to begin.
Yeah.
If it never
Hmm.
begins, then it can never be complete.
Yeah, that's self-healing, and that
Yeah.
comes with self-love, and it probably reflects on how was you loving yourself in that space. Were you in love with you? You know what I'm saying? So at some point we fall in love with ourselves and we do not accept the same thing we accepted in the past. Now
Exactly.
once you fall in love with you, there's no better love. There's nothing else. Nobody can
Absolutely.
tell me nothing about me. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
So self-love was a journey that I had to take on upon myself. And I had to become selfish in this space because being just a natural empath, you have that space in your heart where you always want to help. You always want to give. You always, oh, your heart bleeding? Well, here, take mine. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You kind of get in that space and then you end up hurting yourself in the long run
Right.
by
And
staying
I
because
would
they'll
rather be
take
called selfish. I would rather be thought of as selfish
being
than
stupid.
to be stupid. I'd rather be called selfish than to accept abuse. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
in a sense,
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. Man, boy, it's so funny. It's like, why it takes so long to learn something that feels like it should be common sense. And what they say, common sense ain't common. I
It
used to
ain't
think
No,
common.
it's
I
not,
had the
because you
best
know what?
common sense until I came across somebody that I was very much into. And so I 100% excused all any flags or any kind of actions. And then I was also being, I won't say being drawn into, but I also participated in toxicity, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Until it
You
was
allowed
like
it.
yeah, I allowed it,
That
and I
part.
also engaged in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I until literally circumstances forced a separation between the two of us long enough for me to see myself. Now I can't speak for her. I can only say I believe she definitely saw herself. You know what I'm saying? But I can absolutely say, like, I had to see myself. I had to see the good, bad, and the ugly. Like, okay,
Okay.
bro.
That's it.
Oh God,
You got
like,
to be in touch
come
with
on.
that
You
lighter and
smarter than
darker
this. You
side.
ways, yeah, like you smarter than this. Like you more level headed
Yeah.
than that. You know what I'm saying? this is so out of character. But is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's out of character,
Oh,
Okay.
it's in
but
character for them.
is
Very
it?
much in
But you know what I'm
character.
saying? Like, and so for me, I had to I had to gain my center, gain my, my footing, reevaluate or remind myself about my personal my values, and
Yes.
what my standards are,
That part.
how I want to carry myself. You know what I'm saying? What I can like feel good about, presenting out there, putting out there and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? What, irregardless of the circumstances, that I'm not gonna lose myself. What's authentic? What's my genuine self? Like, all of those things, those questions, you know, I had to face and have, and ask myself. And when it started, I mean, I don't know how many times I wanted to take that situation back and just be like, and I think I actually was like so open to going right back in, being open to that situation, having a,
Right.
revitalizing a toxic relationship for a year, and the other person wasn't, they were off doing them, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you living your best life and I'm up in here hurting. Like, I don't want to hurt no
struggling,
more,
struggling to breathe and eat and shit, and they out here taking
Yeah,
vacations
you feel
and
me?
shit on
Like,
your emotions. Shit, a
and
broken hearted would. I don't trust a broken hearted woman.
That's
Shit,
good.
a broken heart is a kill you.
oh,
You know what I'm saying? People kill behind their heart. So a broken hearted woman is a dangerous woman. That's a dangerous person.
yeah, well, I don't know how you define mine, but I was lonely as hell. So lonely and broken, and
You
just emotionally, like, really, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I had no energy. I had no energy to even entertain to try to date. Like, I had no energy to date. I had no energy to talk, no energy to like try to get to know somebody. I had none of that. Where those things were very easy for me, like very social, like, oh yeah, let's go out, bye bye, we gonna party. So I was like, I don't want to go out, I don't want to do that.
yeah.
I don't
Let me
want to
just
do
work on my
nothing.
craft. I want to work on my business, which actually was a good thing
It
because
was a good
You
thing.
my
needed that.
business
No,
has,
You
that's
yeah,
needed that.
that's the part because you elevate in some way
I
when
did.
you do go within, when you do start focusing on healing yourself and try
Hmm.
to pull out of yourself, some creative force that you feel like you may have lost in the battle of in the war of love and you know
Love and war, boy, they go hand in hand, don't
All
they?
is fair in love and war, baby.
you know
All is
and
fair.
but when you do decide that you're going to heal and the healing begins the creative process. Ray, we was looking at your video there at the beginning of
Yeah.
our show, and you have several actually there that you share with me on Vimeo. So what is
Hmm.
going on? I'm gonna take the last few minutes here of our
Okay.
show just to kind of let the two of you come forth and talk about your current projects and where you're going with that and what the rest of 2022 holds in store for you.
Okay. Well, so basically, a Beat of Life Video Production is now a LLC, and so I'm really excited about establishing it as its own brand and identity, and having a solid business structure. So for me, I was doing a lot of content creating, and I was creating under different personas, doing the independent filmmaking, but not really establishing those myself as a business person. So the business of entertaining and content creating was not what I wanted to do. I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't know how to do business. I know how to create. And so what I had to learn is
Hey,
that it's it I had to learn the business aspect. So I made it a point that towards the end of 2021, I set some goals that this year I was going to establish the business as an entity, a LLC, which I've accomplished that. And
Okay.
on top of that, you know what I'm saying? My job that I work for the school district. So next year I'll be teaching video production. So I'm going to be
Oh,
building a program within the high school. And I had a meeting with my supervisor, which is the assistant principal, and I shared my vision that what I will have I'll basically have access to young minds and take them through a video production program from the freshman, sophomore, junior year, and then I would like, my goal is to teach them to where they can go in, and if they want to continue video production, that they will be able to get a job at, working for me. So it's like it's like planting seeds for the business itself to, to grow and expand, and for it not to be reliant on solely on what I can do, and also make a difference. And so I'm already teaching, and I taught, I was in math, and now I'm going to be able to teach video production. So my supervisor, she was like, well, which one are you more committed to? And I was like, well, these things have been running simultaneously alongside each other for a couple years now. And she was like, she didn't realize how much I do, when I leave there, and you know what I'm saying, and what I do outside of, teaching and stuff. And I was like, I said, man, okay, first of all, I was teaching math and building business on a video production business. Are you telling me I'm gonna be teaching video production and building? I'm like, that just means exponential growth, because you know what I'm
Right?
saying, like
That's
you put
kingdom
me
math, honey.
you you put you put me in one lane, and I get to focus my mental, emotional, and all those creative aspects that I bring, skill sets and stuff, on into one area. Like,
Wow.
what do you expect gonna happen? I said it's gonna get stupid around here. That's what I told her. I
Now,
was like,
that's
it's
what
about
it
to get
means to.
stupid. And so the
Okay.
business is gonna, benefit from it. And then outside of that, like individual projects. So what I'm setting a foundation for is being able to take on bigger clients, like more higher paying clients, not solely doing just small little social media behind the scenes BTSs, but with Vegas opening up and the convention and exhibition and events and stuff, I'm looking to insert myself, network, make my website. My website is looking really good. I'll get my branding and my, business cards and stuff. And so now, you know what I'm saying, without having to focus on a relationship, my net,
right,
this the networking, I am basically setting myself up to network throughout, and to be able to, you know, have clients or potential clients go to my website, look at content, look at what I can do,
Right.
and and then take on clients that not only will, I like small projects, because it's I have to split, I still got to split my time. I mean, that's just what it is. So it's manageable for me, but what it does is allows me to put my thumbprint on, as far as into that, with that, in that company's mind, or in that client's mind, so that when they think of, okay, who do we want to bring in for this? Oh, okay, I already have somebody, did a great job. And so word of mouth in video production is golden. And so I don't, for me, I'm like, don't take on too much, because if you don't deliver, they're also going to be like, oh, I don't want to deal with that person, or no, I really didn't like, how it turned out. So not that I don't think I can deliver, but I know, as far as on a how I want to scale my business, I have to be strategic in how I, in the jobs that I take. So I'm picky. I don't put myself out there. I don't jump on everything. No, no,
Well,
no. Very
you definitely
strategic
can.
now. Very strategic.
Speaking of Vegas, excuse me, let me just interject just a little shameless self promotion, because
come
I
on.
will be out in Vegas
Mm.
March the 17th through the 19th for the
Okay.
Power Up Women's Revival with
Look at
Kingdom
you.
Fire Unleashed Fellowship of
Yes.
Churches. And I am the apostolic mother. I really am very humbled, and I've got to really, really, like get my bearing grounded, and I'll be delivering the
That's
open
crazy that
message.
everybody on this live is connected to Vegas. Vegas is where is my home front. You know,
Yeah.
I opted out. We gave up the condominium, so we actually live in an SUV, and we just travel the West Coast. I'm in Arizona now just to take care of business, but Vegas is the home front. So we
Wow.
live in an SUV, and we travel, and we have some great adventures. I do some rock hounding. I mountain climb, so I find like crystals in different parts of
Yeah.
Nevada and Arizona. So
Give
it's
me
like
some
we
crystals.
have a
I
whole
need some
a whole
crystals.
adventurous life. Uh, just
I
living in
love
It
it.
Vegas.
really is.
Vegas is really nice. I like the energy and I like the atmosphere. And it's really
I
cheap.
love it.
Well, if
Thank
y'all
you.
are out there March the 17th through the 19th, if you can
Yeah.
come out, we are going to be elevating some of our ministers. I'm going to give my first address to this wonderful tribe, these children that the Lord has placed, in my bosom. And I'm
Look at
just
you.
so, I really am humbled. I really am. So, y'all, that is really great. And
I love it.
Eve, you got these readings.
Absolutely.
We were just looking at your price list here that was going on, but this venting session, I
Oh
need to
yeah.
add something like that to my business.
Venting sessions are important. You know,
Yeah,
people need to have a space where they can just come and they just vent about their day, vent about an event, vent about whatever you want to talk about, you know what I'm saying? So we
Yeah.
just open up that space. I just hold space for people when they need it.
Mm,
That's the work that spirit has given me, just to hold space for people that need to hold space. I have people that, what I'm saying, I feel like if spirit gives us a journey or a job or an assignment, and this person called
yeah.
me because I'm about to take this whole bottle of pills, but I'm gonna attempt to
Mm,
call you to get me to talk me and walk me down. Now, I truly believe it's your experience if you want to take that bottle of pills, but I'm here for you. Can what I'm saying? Speak your piece. Let's talk it.
yeah.
Let's talk it down. Let's talk it out. Let's smoke it out. You know what I'm saying? I call them real ratchet. What I'm saying, sessions, because sometimes you just need somebody to smoke and
Hmm.
and,
you
and
know,
just listen to.
people like us, people like you, we
Yeah.
are we are needed because there's many of us, and you know, we, the Holy Spirit, God, it needs to be available to us on every level, and
Exactly.
sometimes the light that you carry will be the only light that people see, the only light that people experience. So you have
Right.
to be able to reach people on your own level, and and show that glory in whatever you do, the
Yeah.
filmmaking, the readings,
Right.
okay, the just in general, however it is that God is giving you to reach people. So
Yeah.
y'all, I don't want to go over 60 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead on and wrap this on up.
Yeah,
But
my phone about to die, so
thank you for coming. Thank you for answering the call. And just keep doing what you're doing. I'm following you. I'm loving on you. I'm participating in whatever you do. Then just holler at your mother. And I'm just gonna end this. Y'all say good night.
good
Good
night.
night. Love and light.
Love it, but don't forget the darkness.